Hey guys, Michael Marchand back again with you on this Friday, coming at you with more mindset. So, the four C's of an achiever's mindset. And if you remember our last video, we covered mindset versus matter. And basically, the concept there was that your mind actually controls your brain, which then controls every cell in your body. And one of the key takeaways from that was that our mindset can help us spot opportunities, or it can cause us to get trapped in self-defeating cycles. So continuing with that thought process, we're going to cover the four C's in achievers mindset. But before we do that, I want to help you get your head right and kind of get in the right lane of thinking for this. So we're going to cover something I call the B.H.A.G. Now, a big, hairy, audacious goal, like a big grizzly bear. And I want you to think about this for a second. Now, you're by yourself in the woods. Maybe you're hiking, maybe you're just going for a nature stroll, whatever the case may be, but you're by yourself, there's nobody else around, and you come across a big giant grizzly bear. You come across this guy in the picture here, and he's growling at you, and he looks pissed off, and he looks mean, and he looks, quite frankly, he wants to eat you. Now, you're by yourself in the woods, you come across that. Most of us are probably going to get a little bit scared. I'd venture to say that a good amount of us, myself probably included, would turn and run the other way because we're going to get away from that thing as fast as we can. So that's what I want you to think about when I say a big, hairy, audacious goal. Something that scares you and that on some level makes you want to turn and run the other way. It's not a CHAG. Now, I call it a CHAG. It's a cute, hairy, goal. So it's not a cute, fluffy little teddy bear. It's not something that gives you warm and fuzzies. No, it's a big, monstrous, mean grizzly bear that scares you, that makes you want to turn and run the other way. That's what I'm talking about when I say a B.H.A.G. So, some examples of a B.H.A.G. that have changed the world. So, these are quite literally goals that individuals set for themselves that have changed the course of history and quite literally the way we have and do life today. So, the first one that comes to mind for me is flight. Now, where would we be without the Wright brothers and them creating an airplane, or the first airplane and actually taking flight? The light bulb, where it would be without modern light? Going to the moon and satellites and all the technology that surrounds that, that makes our lives so much easier today. Now, maybe you're not looking to change the world, but you can change your world. You never know the impact that you or the people you interact with is going to have on the world. You never know the ripples that are going out into eternity because of the things and the decisions you make. Now, those could be good or bad, but we're going to focus on the good because we're looking at life changing for the positive here. So change your life. Maybe you're looking to buy your first home. That's great. Maybe you've already own a home and you're looking to purchase an investment property. Maybe you're looking to pay off all your debt. Maybe you just want to be financially independent. Maybe you have a physical or a mental endurance type goal where you want to run a triathlon or a marathon or something like that. Whatever it is to you, it should be big and it should be scary. Again, referencing that grizzly bear, you want something that makes you a little bit like I'm going to throw up almost, like I'm going to run the other way because this is really scaring me and I'm not comfortable. That's the kind of frame of mind I want you to think about. And that's what I want you to be shooting for when you're thinking of a goal. Now, for me, my goal, one of my goals that I achieved in the last couple of years was running a half Ironman. So for me, a half Ironman was completely unachievable when I started it. I could barely run a mile. I could swim about four laps, not even kidding, that's 100 meters. And I could bike okay, but I was definitely not up to the point where I could ride 56 miles. And to do the half Ironman, you needed to get up to 70.3 miles. It's a total distance 70.3 and it has to be completed in 8 hours or less. So that was the goal I set. And I'm going to jump into the four C's here and then we'll kind of tie it all together for you. So the first one, commitment, courage, credentials, confidence. As you can see, it just goes in a circle there. So we're going to start in the top right and we'll work our way around. But commitment, what is commitment? So commitment, as I mentioned, the B.H.A.G. or something that scares you, it's a I want to throw up big commitment, like an I want to throw up big goal. So for me, that was running a half Ironman. And for me, commitment looks like taking the step of actually registering for the race and actually setting a date that I was going to run the race on. So for me, I set it about a year out from when I was going to actually do it because I knew I would need time to train and I knew I was not in condition mentally or physically to where I could actually complete it. But commitment is the first step, and that's a huge first step. A goal committed to is halfway achieved. So courage, what's the next step? We had commitment, now we have courage. Now this is where we start taking action. Now I took a small step of action and I solidified my commitment by signing up for the race. But this is where I actually had to start training. I had to enter some smaller races. So the first race that I did was a sprint. Now I'm trying to get up to 70.3 miles. The first one that I did was probably around 18 miles. So it's a sprint. It's a half-mile swim. It's about a 12-mile bike ride, and it's a 3.2-mile run. So not even close, not even the ballpark of the distances that I need for a half Ironman. But that was my courage. For me, that for me meant doing a triathlon. And what that did was it did two things. It gave me courage because once I accomplished it, or once I finished that first race, now I had done a triathlon. I went from never having done a triathlon to having this dream or this goal of doing a half Ironman, an Ironman 70.3, to now I have actually done a triathlon. And what that does is that gave me credentials. So as I got into the process and as I started taking action steps, I gained credentials along the way. So I grew from a person that had never done a single triathlon race to now I had credentials of at least being a sprint triathlete. And that was just a step along the way. So the further into the process I got, the more races I ran, the more credentials I got. Same thing if you're buying an investment property, like we're looking at buying an investment property later this year. And we've never purchased an investment property, but we're going to go ahead and commit to it. We have a date that we'd like to have it by. We've started the process of liquidating some assets, so we have the down payment. And once we own that first investment property, now we are investors and we have credentials to fall back on. We have credentials and we will have proved to ourselves and to everybody else, for all that matters, that we can do it. We can succeed. And then once you're done, you have confidence. So you complete everything, you finish the race, you have complete confidence in yourself now that you did something that scared the living bejesus out of you before. Now you've actually standing on the other side of it, you have confidence that you can accomplish great things. And for me, that looks like I finished the half Ironman. I accomplished that goal. I did it on the deadline. I ran the race on the day that I set it and I completed it. So now for me, I have set a new goal in that department. I am set to run a full Ironman in the next 2 years. Now, I could probably not have gone from a non-existent triathlete to running a full Ironman in a year, but I set a realistic goal. Now that I have done the half Ironman, I have complete confidence that I can continue on and finish the full Ironman. And again, it's commitment, courage, credentials, confidence. Because by the time you get to that confidence, by the time you get to that fourth step, you're going to have complete confidence that you didn't have when you took step one. And that's a beautiful thing about this is that there is going to be so much growth. You're going to be a completely different person at step four than you were at step one. You're going to grow in ways you probably can't even see or imagine right now. And that's a beautiful thing about stepping out of our comfort zone. And the beautiful thing about doing things that scare us is that there is growth and there is true change on the other side of that. So I hope that's helpful for you guys. It's something I'm really passionate about. We're going to continue this series. So come back next week for more mindset. And again, if you're in a position right now, you're saying, man, I would love to make a commitment, but I just don't know what that is. Well, let me encourage you, first off, you're on the right track, but nothing changes until something changes. So I want you to commit to that. And what that looks like for you is reach out to me. I have a limited number of strategy sessions that I offer to anybody that sees these videos. So every week I block out a couple of slots where I do strategy sessions complimentary for anybody that would like them. And basically what that does is that's going to take a deep dive into who you are. We're going to spend an hour together and we're just going to get real clear on what you want and where you're trying to go. And that's going to help you discover your B.H.A.G. Maybe that's going to help you discover what it is that you have thought about doing or you want to do, but you've been too scared to take the next step on. We're going to get you a game plan and we're going to commit to it. But again, I have limited slots every week for those. Once they're gone, they're gone. So go ahead and make that appointment today. Give me a call, shoot me a text, or send me an email, reference this video, and we will get you going. That's all I got, guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe and come back next week for more.